Haven't heard Doodah used in a hot minute for that.
Camptown ladies sing this song. That's the
And
only
now we know.
doodah I know.
And now we know where it came from.
Paramount Pictures invites you to unlock the door.
Giant!
Me?
Believe your eyes.
I have a magic cupboard that has a magic key. I put a plastic Indian in the cupboard and he came alive. You are so real.
Yes. Are you?
Open your mind.
He is a real Iroquois man. He talks, eats, he trusts me.
That's very interesting. Good imagination.
And live the adventure.
Wow, this is the plastic Indian? Not plastic anymore. No! Yes! No, it's not a game! Don't put them together. You know, cowboys and Indians. Duh!
Hey! Everybody's so big.
You can't! They're people! You can't use people!
Learn to be a man. You should not do magic you do not understand.
From the best-loved classic of adventure and imagination.
I will be with you when the sun rises.
One more time.
The Indian in the cupboard.
This movie raised a lot of questions for me. A lot of
the top.
internal searching.
Oh, okay. This is more of a spiritual adventure than I anticipated.
I wonder if I'm no longer able to feel joy
Oh, excellent.
because we've done 20 plus movies so far.
Yep.
I have never cared less about the end of a movie in my life.
Wow. That is really saying something because we've pushed through some rough ones.
And so I looked up previous stinkers because this was rated 6.0 on IMDb.
This is good. You're already going to a place where my mind went. Perfect.
And we should probably go through. So 1995,
Yep.
PG, hour 37 or 38, depending on where you look at it, apparently. 6.0 on IMDb, 70% of Rotten Tomatoes.
70%.
That's egregiously high. Blank Check was 5.3.
Sure was.
That was entertaining. You could say it's a poor movie, but there are entertaining moments. Three Ninjas also 5.3. Fair.
This is
Fine.
better. This is better so far.
Ladybugs, for all of its issues, there are moments where I'm like, this is fun.
You're entertained.
5.5. Dennis the Freaking Menace, which has a huge place in my heart.
Yeah.
5.7, still lower.
Yeah.
Free Willy, 6.0.
So this
Free
is on
Willy
par.
is equal to the Indian in the cupboard?
I said I won't bury the lead. I'll go right to it. For is it appropriately rated? I said this movie is rated worse than Angels in the Outfield, but better than Dennis the Menace. This whole system is fucked, but it feels like an appropriate rating.
Did you enjoy this? Stop it. I don't even like the pause.
I felt educated. I felt it felt exactly as it was intended. A movie made by Scholastic to be rolled in on a TV with a VCR to be played during your school day. It felt 100% appropriate.
I watched this a year and a half ago because we've been in a hiatus.
No one needs to know this.
I watched it
Time is a flat
again.
circle.
All right, we can edit that out. So I've watched this twice in the last 2 years. Before that, I haven't watched this in 30 years.
Yeah, that's a
I'm
safe
sure I
bet.
watched it right when it came out and then was like, okay, we're good. Did you read the book
Yes.
growing up?
Yeah.
I did as well, and I'm sure that's why I watched it.
I think it's required reading, I think.
Probably. Yeah. There are no enjoyable parts of this movie. Full stop. I am so angry. And I had 3 pages of notes after the first viewing.
Yeah.
I added more. I did add one positive thing, to be fair, that I noticed.
Are you going to save it?
Yeah, because I have to cling on to what I can.
Don't go throwing that away so
But
soon.
I added like 5 other things. I'm like, that really pissed me off.
All right, well, good. Well, let's get into it.
Please.
Let's start with our taglines and our plots.
Okay.
Taglines and Plots.
A young boy growing up in Brooklyn receives an odd variety of presents, to say the least. For his birthday, a wooden cupboard from his older brother,
Stupid.
a set of antique keys from his mother, and a plastic Indian from his best friend Patrick. The tagline I found was "Adventure comes to life." If something's already an adventure, hasn't it come to life? You don't need to awake
None
an
of this
adventure.
makes sense.
Plots done poorly.
Omri, a young boy growing up in Brooklyn, receives an odd variety of presents for his birthday. A wooden cupboard from his older brother, a set of antique keys from his mother, and a plastic Indian from his best friend Patrick. That is the dumbest assembly of gifts ever presented to any child ever in the history of the world.
Fair.
And he is thrilled to have it. He seems to enjoy it.
Yeah.
I did not.
No, you on the other hand did not. My plot done poorly was a boy is given an old cupboard for his birthday. He learns that it contains magic that brings toys to life, but comes to find that opening the door to those action figures may just open up himself to a whole new world.
I don't even like that. Sounds like you
Also, one of the toys has a great ass. Can we talk about that? We saw half an Indian ass. We saw a Native American butt cheek.
Yeah. He won an award for it. I don't know that it was
Incredible.
for that.
It's not for it. It's part of the picture.
The only award I could find that this piece of garbage won.
Yeah.
1996 winner of the FITA, First Americans in the Arts Award, outstanding performance by an actor in the film, the lead, Lightfoot.
Lightfoot.
So he's a real Native American. What an ass.
One.
I think I
as in his
saw
butt,
that in the tagline.
not as in he's an embarrassment. Or
No. A tremendous physique.
Yes.
And butt cheeks.
And it really hits you at the end, too. It really sends you off with something to remember him by. So we went through all the listings. Where we found this for the last year and a half before, in our hiatus was nowhere. It was nowhere to be found.
Correct.
But then as we recently picked it up again through some Google searching, it is now available on MGM Plus for all you subscribers.
And I looked at MGM Plus. There are a crazy amount of movies on there.
Okay. Is this an ad for MGM Plus?
It wasn't going to be, but I'm scrolling through. I'm like, this is all free. Well, at least 7-day trial. The new Naked Gun movie's already on there.
Fair.
Gladiator 2, The Quiet Places, like big movies are on here that I'm looking at. I didn't know Rings had multiple sequels. Apparently it does. I mean, there's some decent movies on there. I would have liked any one of those as opposed to watching this movie.
So our recommendation is to sign up for MGM Plus for your 7-day trial, unsubscribe before your 7 days are up,
Correct.
and watch any other movie except this movie. Is that the endorsement?
100%. Yeah.
Well, did you know this movie was rated PG for mild language and brief video images of violence and sexy dancing?
Is that the Motley Crue Girls
That would be Motley Crue,
video?
yes. The 3 whole seconds of it.
That's in one of my problematic.
Oh, excellent. I didn't have anything for problematic, so I can't wait to dive right into that.
Stop it. Stop.
So director Frank Oz, I think you can speak on his behalf.
And this is what I'm wondering. Can I no longer feel joy? Because you know how much I love the Muppets and Frank Oz.
As soon as I saw that name, I was like, I can feel his confliction.
I
can
was
feel his upsetness.
so excited going into it because I of course never knew Frank Oz directed this. For those of you that don't know, he's the voice of Bert, Cookie Monster, Miss Piggy, Grover, Yoda.
Have you heard of him?
Yeah, he's out there.
Yep.
I love me some Frank Oz.
Yeah.
He directed this absolute train wreck of a movie.
Do you know other movies he's directed? Because then I had to do that little bit of research. It's quite a spread. Death at a Funeral, The Stepford Wives, Bowfinger with Eddie Murphy.
Really?
In and Out, What About Bob?
I knew What About Bob.
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Little Shop of Horrors, The Muppets Take Manhattan, and Dark Crystal. So Dark Crystal and Muppets kind of feel in the world of his voiceovers.
But then Bowfinger and In and Out and wow.
Yeah. And the writers of this movie, we've got Lynn Reed Banks, who is the author of all of the Indian in the Cupboard series, as it appears, and Melissa Matheson, who wrote E.T., the E.T. video games, and the BFG in 2016. and at the Twilight Zone movie. You've got the author of the books and someone who's directed the Twilight Zone movie. Does that feel like this is now appropriate? Are pieces coming together?
But there's pieces that should have worked and been more cohesive, and it just, every opportunity bombs so hard. From the jump. One of my least favorite scenes are the opening credits.
Okay, hold on. Can I ask you how much you thought this movie cost? Or are you aware?
God. No, I didn't look up anything. Like $12.
Can we start with a glass half full? What did you think of the special effects of the movie?
For 1995 and having miniature people in a cupboard, not bad.
Not bad.
Okay, so if I were going to say...
I fully thought that movie on an HD TV was going to be like, this is going to be brutal. And it actually...
It kind of holds up. It kind of holds up.
Yeah, so keep in mind... These are special effects that have lasted for 30 years. So now include that in your budget. Where do you want to throw a number?
I mean, I don't even know then.
$45 million.
I was going to say around 40.
$44 million.
Okay.
What it grossed was 35.7.
So I saw that...
Kind of close.
That
in the ballpark.
Lynn Reed Banks wrote 5 volumes of Indian in the Cupboard. 4 of which have been published by 95. But because of the poor box office performance of this movie... They canceled any plans to adapt volumes 2, 3, and 4.
Do you know what we were robbed of? Potential,
Thank God.
Potential 6 to 8 more hours of joy, Jim. That's what we were robbed of. But to your point, to the reviews, 70% Rotten Tomatoes, 6 out of 10 on IMDb.
That's so high.
The Metascore is 58 with ratings as high as 88 and as low as
from whom?
As low as 40. It never got a 0, Jim. It never got a 0.
From toddlers? Who are doing the reviews? That makes no sense.
88 on Real Views. The movie teaches lessons without preaching.
What is the lesson?
And focuses on the magic of relationships rather than that of special effects. This leads to a production as affecting for adults as for children, Jim.
100% false. It's all special effects. And what is the relationship?
The Philadelphia Inquirer, 88. It is the kind of film that enables adults to get in touch with their inner child. But, more important, gets children in touch with their inner adult. I don't know what that means.
What does that even mean?
As soon as I read that, I was like, that is something that somebody wrote down and has no meaning. Actually, it doesn't.
No. If you abduct someone and steal it from their life and use it for your personal entertainment, that's the takeaway that
we're all
got.
in touch. We're all in touch with somebody.
I am so agitated.
The Washington Post with a 75. This is my round out of the good reviews. A faithful, clever adaptation of Lynn Reed Banks' award-winning children's book.
Not clever.
A sort of blockbuster in reverse with its action and adventures played on a very small scale. It combines the touching themes of classic stories like The Velveteen Rabbit with the high-tech micro special effects of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
I was going to say Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't get anything else in that review.
Okay. Now let's go to the other end of the spectrum.
Thank you.
Miami Herald, 50. Unlike Omri's plastic toys, the Indian in the cupboard never comes to life. A little sassy.
Burn.
A little bit of sass. Empire, 40. Oz's movie is well-intentioned, if a touch too heavy on the PC side of things, but ultimately proves just too uninspired. Did that movie feel too PC?
No.
That's why I was like, maybe for
95?
95, they're like, woke much? Excuse me. Jim. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Your good friend Ebert. 2 out of 4 stars for the Chicago Sun-Times.
Too high.
There is a word for the Indian in the cupboard, and that word is creepy. The movie is about a little boy with a magic cabinet that turns plastic toys into real living humans who are 2 or 3 inches high and puts the boy in the godlike position of being in complete control of their worlds and their fates. This is, of course, the fantasy behind all dolls and toy soldiers and such like.
I don't know that that's true at all, but okay.
We'll come around with this. The Indian in the Cupboard is not exhilarating or exciting or funny in the ways that E.T. was, and although it tries for the same realism in its depiction of its children, it stumbles over the plight of its little people who become the playthings of the kid gods. E.T. was what he was and dominated his scenes. Little Bear and Boone always seem to be missing something, as if they are happy to be tiny pawns in the plot of a children's story. The movie looks like a great idea, and I'm sure the TV ads will make it seem like fun. But my hunch is kids will find this story depressing in ways they can't fully express.
I understand very little of that.
Did you feel depressed after that movie?
Yeah.
I will say, there's something that towards the end that they put their toes in the water, dipped their toesies, where I was like, this is a far more interesting plot that we could have explored, and we'll get into that. But I could see maybe where that becomes a depressing
I'm
side.
not getting the tie in to E.T.
The other writer wrote E.T.
Okay.
So I think
that's it.
I'm sure the ad said from the writers of E.T.
Okay, fine. Because everything else, you lost me.
All right, let's take it from the top.
The opening credits show a name featured of an actor in the movie, and then they flash an image of an Indian action figure. And then every name that pops up, they show a different action figure. Almost like, here they are. Only one Indian is featured in this movie. So if it's just like, because it's in the title, here are different Indians,
and
here are names, here are action figures, it just seems like it's really beating you over the head early. And I don't ever feel like I fully recover from that. It just keeps going into more and more garbage.
What you're saying is it starts off strong and only gets stronger.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Here's what I'll say. Omri, quite an exotic name. Surprised it didn't take off. The success of this movie didn't catapult. How many Omris do you know? Do you have in your life?
3 on my mom's side. But
that's it. Richard Jenkins as the dad from Step Brothers.
Yes.
An absolute favorite amongst us all.
Great
movie. There's a few little, speckled highlights in there from people. Is his name David Keith? David Keith.
Yes.
Because Keith David is a different actor. I had to look
100%.
From Major League 2, I remember.
Yes, Parkman.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that went over my head when I watched as a kid, that the cast is loaded. And then you have Vincent, was it Kartheiser from Mad Men? That's the brother with the long hair.
I haven't watched Mad Men.
I haven't either. But fine. You have, that's 3 actors. And then Steve Coogan.
Yeah. As soon as I saw
is
that
the medic.
Name.
So,
Love him.
you got some big names. You got a director that has been around the block. It sounds like some writers.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. The Omri thing, do you know why he's named Omri?
No, go ahead.
Because the author's son is named Omri, and she wrote the books for her son.
Now,
so
Jim.
they stayed true to that. Stop it. If you want to have any nostalgia whatsoever, absolutely get out of here.
That just made my heart grow a couple sizes this day, Jim.
So happy for you.
Here's what I'll say. They don't waste a second. We are 5 minutes into this movie.
Yeah.
We've got an Indian and we've got the cupboard.
Yes,
We're
we do.
rocking around all the stage.
The title has been established.
And as any child would want a cupboard for their birthday, here's also a pile of keys. Here you go. Let her rip, Omri.
Another one of my least favorite things. So
that a mom
stupid.
for their son's birthday gave him a pile of keys. Is that one of your least favorite things?
Like, I don't even know what order to go in for things for this movie because it's just a clusterfuck.
Yeah, well, then it's fair that we jump around. That's fine.
Okay, so questions that I have.
Yeah.
His brother found a cupboard. Found it.
Yeah.
He didn't build it. There's stains on the top of it. So he found it in an alley in New York, presumably. You see the World Trade Center in the background.
Sure.
Another uplifting moment. And thought his 9-year-old brother would be like, you know what?
Happy birthday.
Need that.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Then, what are the odds that the mom just has 70 antique keys lying around, and the first one that Omri puts in
Was it
works?
the first one?
Yeah.
I didn't
first
see it. I
one.
didn't pick up on that.
And then mom goes, well, why don't you put in this Indian figurine and lock it up? Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't I? Who would want this stolen?
Mom, big ups to
Better
you.
lock this in the cupboard.
Well, listen, mom had some kind of intuition. She knew the keys meant something. She knew the Indian went in the cupboard for some reason. Maybe she was smarter than us, Jim. Have you considered that?
I had not.
I'll say, what a reveal to the Indian coming to life, because closes the cupboard, opens it up, nothing's there. And then a slight turn reveals a living Indian.
I absolutely hate it. And when he walks up to the cupboard, it's like he already knows something's going to happen. Like the whole reveal. If this was a magic trick, you're holding the rabbit outside of the hat before it even comes out. It's so stupid. He walks so slowly to the cupboard, like, I wonder what's going to happen. I wonder if exactly what I think is going to happen. Why in your wildest dreams would you ever think this Indian's going to come alive?
Jim, it's a book for 3rd and 4th graders, presumably. Listen,
and I'm sure there was a little bit more mystique in the book. Like, it's not just like page
The book moves
2,
too ham-fisted?
Indian's alive. Spoiler alert.
I will say, once we've established the birthday gifts, the Indian, the cupboard, I did write down, we have 80 minutes left in this movie. What else is going to...
I kept looking at the time like,
I kept pausing.
We have an hour and 15 minutes left of this freaking movie? How?
The movie's produced by Scholastic, the company that makes books for
Didn't
children.
even know that.
There's a whole subset of all this information between all the like distribution companies, which was confusing and didn't lead anywhere really interesting. But Scholastic was part of it. And what I will say is that that movie felt like it was a textbook. It felt like it was like 100% the TV's rolling into the classroom and we're watching a movie of a book. It felt like they weren't trying to do too much. They weren't trying to do really much of anything. Here's a book. Here's a way. We're also going to learn some facts. So that way, if your parents asked what movie you watched today, you learned something. That's 100%.
I don't even know what you would learn, though. There's a
about the
kid
Iroquois.
railing about JFK.
That kid was great. Another uplifting. How the movie ends is him still quoting about how JFK got assassinated.
Funny, but not clung on to enough.
Yeah.
It was because you're focused on Omri's stupid grin of like him gazing off in the distance.
Yeah.
Thinking about Lightfoot.
There were a couple things that rang true to me. One of them was, I feel like any kid in that situation, once you've put a toy in and understood that it brings toys to life, your immediate reaction would be, let me grab every other toy I have, throw them in there, and bring them to life.
That was one of my favorite things.
I was like, yes, absolutely.
So he puts in like a Darth Vader, RoboCop, G.I. Joe, T-Rex, other action figures.
Yeah.
Maybe let's just let's see what happens. Yeah. Why not let him duke it out?
I'll watch 20 to 30 minutes of that.
Honestly, like that was a potential great part of the movie is let's see what happens here. And he didn't. They all look at him like, what the hell are you?
Yeah.
Let him duke it out.
Yeah. He got scared. He jumps into bed. I said, what are you scared for? Lock the cupboard. You're the god here. Ebert says it. Like,
yeah.
You wield all the power.
He messed up.
Also, Little Bear's tattoos look like shit. And I understand.
I wrote that down. It looks like I don't even think a magic marker, a Crayola washable marker.
One of our fun facts is that it took them 3 to 4 hours every day to apply those with permanent markers. I said, what 4 hours?
That's awful.
That was like 10 minutes solid. Like someone just hitting
it's
it.
It's a faded marker.
Brutal. They could have.
It's so bad.
For a $45 million budget, I think they could have got some better tattoos.
Oh my God.
For Little Bear. That's all I'm saying.
Something.
Omri wakes up the next morning, and Little Bear wants to go out and about. So naturally, we got to bring him out into the world. Let's really lean into the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids of it all and get him into the world. So I kind of braced myself for, all right, this is going to go full Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And it really didn't. It like does it for a second, and then it brings him back inside. And I was like, this is what this movie could have been. You could have taken all the fun of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and just made it that instead of what it was.
Right. Yeah, he has him kill a plastic deer.
He certainly doesn't kill an ant that he becomes friends with.
No, auntie.
He gets attacked by a pigeon, which then rolls us into now we get Steve Coogan, which I'll take Steve Coogan.
I like that. They're looking for husks. Can't find any husks because apparently they don't have Band-Aids in their house.
Why would they?
That probably would have worked, but why try it?
Maybe consider that when you're bringing toys to life. Maybe get some Band-Aids. Maybe get some.
Have them in your cupboard or something.
But this is where we start dipping our toes into some stereotypes. We get the medic, and this is where he hits him with a couple of hows. But I did chuckle at Little Bear's reaction to that, which is just him sarcastically saying how back to him. Not like being offended, but just like what you're doing is stupid, so I'll give you a stupid response. I was like, okay, fine.
That's fine.
That's a fine response.
And I guess just from an outside point of view, should we just assume that this Native American knows how to speak English?
Yes.
Okay.
And I actually did think, because Omri says, oh, you know how to speak English, and he gives an answer to it. But I was wondering if like at first he wouldn't be able to, but then he'd have the TV on and it would just start picking up. But it was just like, no, I got it. It's easy language. Like I'm on board. I'm with you.
All right.
Listen, if toys are coming to life, Jim, we gotta suspend a little.
That's fine with me.
So Jen and I watched this, and immediately,
I'm so sorry.
Immediately, her response to seeing the mom was, she's giving off the mom from Ferris Bueller vibes, and then I couldn't let it go. The haircut was like very Ferris Bueller mom. So for the rest of the movie, every time I saw her, that's all I could think.
Great call.
Yeah, I was like, solid. Absolutely. Totally on board. Omri goes downstairs to bring him breakfast. Naturally, he wants granola, cranberry juice. His mom is confused by this because he would never eat this.
Yep.
So gets him all set to leave for school. And Little Bear needs a hatchet. So he brings the knight to life to nab the axe and ditch him. Which this gag is done a couple of times where the toys are brought to life and then they're just confused and then they're automatically the door shut on them.
Right.
I'm fine with that. They don't lean in. They don't get into it heavy. It's
That's
just like,
fine.
It's a bit of a just stunned and shut the door. I was like, okay. Good.
Except to me, he figured that out pretty damn quick.
He did.
Because Lightfoot needs a teepee,
Yep.
and he gives him a plastic one. And he's like, "Oh, let me just put this in the cupboard and take it back out then, because then it'll be a real teepee." Oh,
He's a smart.
didn't realize that could be possible. Okay.
He goes to class when they share journals, and he starts talking about bringing the Indian alive and how he trusts them. At that point, Patrick leans over and looks at him suspiciously. And my thought to that was, wait, your best friend who gave you this toy has no idea. You haven't told him at all about this.
Yeah.
False. If any kid in that situation would have been like, come over here, look at this. Like, I'm bringing toys to life over here. Let's get in this together. Like, the fact that Patrick didn't know was like, that's incorrect, false.
That's
Not
the only plot point I'm okay with.
Okay.
Because hot take, Patrick sucks.
Patrick does he's a shit friend. He's a shitty friend.
Omri's like, "Don't touch the cupboard. It really means a lot to me." He leaves the room for 5 seconds and comes back instant cowboy. What did I say? I told you not to touch the freaking cupboard.
You said not to. That's on me. I thought you said touch the.
When you said it meant a lot to me, I thought that meant do whatever the hell I want with your new birthday
Put a
present.
cowboy in there with a horse.
Got it.
I'm mishearing things. I got you.
Then when he spends the night, he's like, "All right, well, one of us needs to stay awake. If you go first, I'll give you $1 million." Wow. Wow.
Coming off strong. I said you could probably get offered a pack of Starburst. Like this, there's a low bar.
He's
here.
the worst friend ever. So no, I wouldn't have told him shit.
Yeah.
I have a live Indian in my house. You're never gonna find out.
Fair. So maybe that's the point. Maybe he knows Patrick. He knows he's a shitty friend. So
He needs to get new friends. He's Patrick's the absolute worst.
Patrick's to blame. He could have got a cupboard and keys, and this would have been the end of it. There would have been no movie or book.
True.
Patrick gave him the Indian toy. So let's just keep that in mind. So this is where we start to get into interesting parts of this movie where I thought could have just been their whole own side stories or spin-offs or anything, which is when he gets the old Indian that dies.
Yes.
Yes, which dies of a heart attack. He wants the bow and arrow, and he just died. Incredible acting, by the way. Really, just grabs the chest, slowly keels
Falls over.
and he's dead. He's dead immediately. I said what's more interesting to me is that these people are taken out of their normal lives.
Yes.
Brought into the tiny bodies of these toys to come alive. So when they die, do they just go back? Is my question. Or
I think they're dead in
they're dead in both.
So okay. This was like
This is where I'm set. This is what I'm saying.
the deep
The inception,
hypothetical.
yes.
It got wild for me.
Yes.
Again, this brought up so many questions about myself, about my identity. Are there
Are you a toy, Jim? Are you about to be taken
any
away?
of us toys?
Are we?
Are we alive?
At any moment could we be taken away?
Are there multiverses? This could have been like the first multiverse.
6 out of 10. 70% Rotten Tomatoes.
They're pulling people from another life because all of them are like, I was in the woods. I was with my wife. I was doing this. So wait, these toys have real lives that Omri's pulling them from?
Yep.
And then he finds it out and he's just like, meh, hang out here.
I feel no guilt or
You're not sending them
responsibility.
back then to their families? Just hang out here.
And to your point, if they die here, they're dead.
I don't know. Is it like Inception? If you die in a dream, do you die in real life?
This is what I'm saying. So do we need to now reach out to Christopher Nolan's people and say, what was the impetus for this movie? And was it Indian in the Cupboard from 1995?
It might have been. I just, so much of it makes no sense. Because then Patrick, as we established, not a great friend, puts the cowboy in. Cowboy comes to life with the horse. Then why doesn't Omri just turn him back into a plastic figurine right away? He's like, Patrick, you idiot. Well, we might as well play with him for the next 72 hours and probably have something terrible happen. Just put him back, man.
Cat's out of the bag.
Gone. Put him back.
Patrick's a bad friend. You said it.
But Omri is even dumber. Just shut it down.
Omri has a conversation with his dad where does his dad make the assumption that he's lost his saw blades? Like
that he buried them in the yard.
Okay. Did that happen? Did I miss that?
I honestly don't even know.
Or was he was burying the toy? And
but
so
that was with a shovel. He grabbed blades because Lightfoot needed them to build with a hatchet and everything.
Okay.
So he said he buried them.
Okay.
The dad in me is livid.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, you took my blades. I need those.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, yeah, I buried them. And he's like, okay, I'm going to buy new ones then.
But the dad in you also sends your son through the New York City streets to a
No,
hardware
it would
store.
be like, you buried them, and my reaction is, I guess I'll just have to buy new ones. No.
No, you will have to buy them.
Go get my blades. No, go. They're in the. Where are they in the yard? I'm not buying new blades.
So Omri goes to buy the saw blades, and in the middle of this, he gets robbed by a bully with a mohawk. His response to that is, "You don't deserve that hair."
Don't quite get
Roasted.
that. Don't get that.
Mohawks.
There's a lot
Native
about
American.
Omri I don't get. Another
He's
thing I
staying
don't
true
get
to the
about
source
him.
material, Jim.
Have you noticed he's wearing 2 watches in the entire movie?
I did not notice
two,
that.
Two
on the
watches
same
on
side,
the
or
same side with a bracelet. Because I thought, all right, maybe he's got like a whole thing going. No, it's a bracelet and then 2 watches below it.
He loves an accessory.
You need 2 of them to tell
In
time
case
twice.
one,
If one breaks,
maybe he can tell the time here and
an
wherever-
Inception. See how fast it's moving. So
The top is spinning. The top
stupid.
is spinning. We get Boone comes to life, the cowboy. His immediate
Jack Parkman.
Jack Parkman
From Major League Two.
as he will be referred to as. He hits us with a "you son of a buck horse's ass." One of his few zings.
Yeah, that's a common saying.
So, how often do you drop that on your coworkers?
When I say you don't deserve that hair, I followed up with
You son of a buck horse's ass. Yeah. Patrick mentions not putting the Indian and the cowboy together, which sends Boone into a tizzy because now he knows. Okay,
Yeah.
there's an Indian afoot. So he hits him with if we're gonna get in the problematic
Please.
category,
I'm problematic.
the word redskin. Which
Mm-hmm.
hearing it, since I haven't heard it in a minute, it did catch me off guard. I was like, oh yeah, that was certainly a thing that was said, and also the name of a sports team for many years. It caught me off guard.
To me, when not to give Ebert any credit, but saying that's too PC.
Yeah.
To me, it was like he's a sensitive cowboy. He's
see.
crying. He's in touch with his emotions.
Yeah.
When idiot Patrick brings him in his fanny pack to school, the cowboy and the Indian then like become friends.
They get along.
They find similarities. They're talking about family. They're talking about like moving on, and Lightfoot's wife died, and the cowboy's like, you gotta have another family. Once you have another kid, you'll move on.
Yeah.
Okay, questionable, but I did think it showed like, look at us, we're so different and yet we're the same.
Yes, it's
we
true.
can get along
If we can get along,
in a
who
fanny
amongst us-
pack, in a classroom, in an asshole's lap.
Who amongst us can? And Omri, to his credit, he's a good caretaker. He brings animals to life so that Little Bear can hunt them. Like he's trying.
Yeah,
He's
here, slaughter this
invested.
deer.
Yes, he doesn't just leave him outside to be pecked to death by pigeons. Like he's on it.
Sure,
Good on you, Omri. Good on you. If you're gonna bring a toy
Great.
to life, take care of it. I'm just saying.
you
he's
deserve
responsible.
minimal amount of credit.
But he wakes up the next morning, and Little Bear and Boone are fighting.
Yeah,
He gets them to settle down. All seems to be well.
Thank goodness.
Omri saves Little Bear. Little Bear's response to him saving him is to roast him. He says, he cooks like a woman. You're a woman. It's like, man, I just saved you from getting your ass shot.
Yeah.
Like, what? I should just throw you to the wolves.
I
here.
think he's frustrated. Again, he's like, you pulled me out from my life.
I
You're
see.
making me sleep in a plastic teepee.
Sure.
I had to build a hut. I should have been with my nephew in the woods, you idiot.
That's true. He does bring this up multiple times. So he's really holding on to this. He's not letting it go.
Can I bring up one thing that I actually liked about Omri?
I would love this.
So that scene, he goes to sleep. I recognized the t-shirt he was wearing
Okay.
because I had a similar t-shirt. It's a Far Side shirt.
Oh, excellent.
I was a big Far Side
Sure.
fan. I had multiple shirts. And this was Know Your Bugs.
Yeah.
And it just has their names like Doug, Linda, Chuck, Liz, Carl, Jerry, but it's all
Incredible.
different bugs. So I noticed that like those are your pajamas. Brought him up a few notches.
Sure.
But he was in the basement. So
Yeah.
maybe he's like a 3 out of 10 now, but the 2 watches
There's
brings him
potential.
back down. But I still am like, okay, you're wearing a Far Side shirt.
Yeah.
I can get down with that.
When the fanny pack is established, at first I thought they're just bringing Boone to get him away from Little Bear.
Right.
Then we find out, no, they're both in there. And my immediate response to that was,
Stupid.
wait, why did you do this? Like,
Stupid.
I guess it plays out fine because they don't kill each other, but what you're running a risk here.
But Patrick wanted to bring him to school.
Yeah.
Omri says no.
Patrick's selfish.
And then it's like, okay, let's just bring both.
Yeah. Wow. How could this go wrong?
Genius.
It's gone horribly awry for the whole first 10 other minutes of this.
It's really rough.
Yeah. But they start bonding immediately. I thought no one can hear them talking in the fanny pack. There's no like little, in a quiet moment in class, no one's hearing little tiny voices in the fanny pack.
I think they're too small. I think it's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Sure.
Like can you hear them if they're that tiny? Although these are like 3 inches tall, and Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, they were far smaller.
Yeah.
But I guess tiny voices, I don't know.
Well, to support your point, Patrick was in the litany of him being an asshole friend. He immediately is an asshole friend again because he tries to show off the fanny pack while Omri's talking to his teacher.
Yeah.
Hey guys, come over here, check this out. Like, you know, this is already an issue. You know, we're trying to keep this private. Patrick,
He never should have had that fanny pack.
No, he never should have had that. You're giving him far too much rope here because he's a bad friend.
And he's going to take it. We've already seen you give him an inch, it takes a mile.
It's true. Lucky for the both of them that Little Bear and Boone can play dead very well and act like toys.
They can and laugh about it afterward.
And have a good yuck. PLAS-TECK.
PLAS-TECK. Yeah.
It works. Next time you hear someone yell PLAS-TECK, you know you have to go
Freeze.
like Toy Story and just drop like toys.
Can I give a Toy Story fact?
Yes, you may.
This movie came out 4 months before Toy Story.
Okay, now that boggles my mind because in my mind, those movies are not in the same like time, like in history.
Right.
Like Indian in the Cupboard came out 4 years before. I don't know. They don't feel like they came out at the same time.
So it's like sometimes there's movies that like you'll have, I forget what it's called, like Toy Soldiers,
Yes.
and there was another one. Like there were a bunch of like or toys coming to life and like kids being involved. So I think it was part of that whole theme and genre.
Sure.
But to see Toy Story and how well constructed that was, and that was just 4 months later.
Wow.
So July 14, 1995 and November 22nd, 1995. Wow.
Well, no wonder. I can't imagine it competes well against Toy Story. I have to imagine some of the flop has to do with that.
I mean, we'll have to look at the budget and what it brought in and gross. I don't have the numbers on me, but I'm sure they're neck and neck.
Yeah, it's a close one. So Omri goes home. He steals a wife for Little Bear, but when he goes to his room, he sees the cupboard is gone. So he goes to confront his brothers. Mm-hmm. Where's the cupboard? Where's the rat ball? His brother says. And to my surprise, they've got a little Harry Potter room down the stairs, underneath the stairs. I said, oh, isn't that nice? Nice little Harry Potter room. But what comes to happen is that Omri kicks the ever-living shit out of that rat.
Sure does. That's one of my problematic things is he kicks the rat down the stairs. So that's earlier when the brothers are like in his room.
Yes.
Except no one reacts.
That's what I said. That I was talking to Jan afterwards. I go, not only does Omri kick this thing,
blast this rat
15 feet, no one is bothered.
Well,
by
down
it.
the stairs, he's spinning in circles. You hear him chirping, and the brothers apparently that's their rat, and no one bats an eye. They're like,
stroll along. Yeah,
just another rat kicked down the stairs.
The key is now gone. Little Bear and Boone are pissed because they want to go home, but they can't. So this is where we get Patrick coming over for sleepover. Motley Crue, girls video.
So bad.
Boone's response to this video is, "What a disgusting display." And I was like, "Really?"
So again, Roger's credit.
PC.
Maybe a little too PC. Like,
PC police are here.
This disgusting filth.
A music video with girls in their bikinis.
Not on my watch.
Not on my watch, Omri. But this is where they start watching the movie where the Cowboys and Indians are shooting at each other. Mm-hmm. This stresses Little Bear out to the point where he shoots an arrow into Boone's chest.
Yeah.
And he falls to his death, maybe?
Well,
he should have died.
It's on a bed, so I guess TBD.
Okay. But arrow to the chest, fall down.
It's not great.
feels like
not
a
good luck for Lightfoot.
I said, after a few minutes, I said, wait, he's alive? My ass, he's alive. He fell from very high up with an arrow.
It was quite a fall.
Yeah. But somehow they find the key in the floorboards. Omri saves Little Bear and the key. And as they're saving Little Bear, the goddamn rat jumps out of the floorboards at such a speed that Patrick totally redeems himself.
That's the only part that Patrick does anything semi-positive.
What reflexes, Patrick?
He catches the rat in midair.
Knows that it's fully anticipates it's coming to the point where he just snatches out of midair, saving their lives. And it is not addressed. Omri doesn't turn him and go, whoa, nice cat. This is just old hat. This is not fine. Thanks for doing that.
Yep.
Yeah. They bring back the medic so that they can save Boone. Omri goes to look for cotton swabs, and he has a moment of self-reflection in the mirror, Jim. This is when he realizes it's time. It's their time to go home.
Oh, now it's time.
I'm done playing.
Maybe this is wrong. He's only said for however long, you should not do magic you don't understand, which fair.
Sure.
You probably shouldn't do magic you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
You have no clue how this works. You don't know where this cupboard came from. You don't know why the key works.
It's true.
This could be a whole thing.
This could have been a Goosebumps episode. This could have been the
don't
cursed
know.
cupboard. Like, I'm saying, there's like so many nuggets of potentially better stories or movies.
Yes.
And we ended up here. We landed on this.
We just took like remnants of good movies, threw them in one movie, and went, well, this will probably work.
When they send the medic home, Steve Coogan, he as he's about to leave, he says, "The buckles keep getting caught on my doodah."
Didn't hear that.
Is a doodah a penis to Steve Coogan's medic? Because when he looks down, he's not necessarily looking down to his crotch. He's just kind of holding on his buckles. And I'm like, there's nothing else in that vicinity. So doodah kind of implies you've now talked about your penis, sir.
Yeah.
I haven't heard doodah used in a hot minute for that.
Camptown Ladies sing this song. That's the
And
only
now we know.
doodah I know.
And now we know where it came from. Fair is fair. I wrote the scene where Patrick and Omri are looking down on Little Bear and Boone, and they're cutting back and forth. Both sets of characters are a white man and a Native American or an Indian. Someone, they have their conflict and their resolution. I said, is this a mirror image of one another? They don't get along, but then they also resolve their issues. Like, we're not so different, you and I, sort of a situation.
I mean, you are really taking a lot.
I learned a lot from this movie.
Metaphor. I just took it as bad movie. But
Asshole friend.
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't hear a no there, so fine. Boone says, as he's about to leave, when we get sent back, will we wake up where we were, or will we be in the future from that point? I said, that is a legitimate question, Boone. This is great. I'm so much more interested in this plot line.
Right.
I said, if this series, I haven't read this. I don't believe I read the sequels in the Cupboard series.
Why would you?
Why would you? But I said, if they made it to a sequel, you could have had Omri finding his way. He figures out some way to become a toy, and he goes off with Little Bear off to places. Like, there's opportunities to really play some of these questions out, but we never get those answers.
What if he puts himself in the cupboard? Can he turn into a plastic figurine and go off somewhere?
The brothers find a little plastic figurine of Omri, and they have to figure out how to get him back to, this is what I'm saying.
That sounds like a Goosebumps.
These are very Goosebumps.
I'd be more on board with
tinged.
that.
Yeah. But we'll never get to know that unless Paramount or one of these production companies wants to bring it back for a reboot.
And sadly, the author Lynn Reed Banks died in 2024 at the age of 94.
You didn't even save it for Dead or Alive.
Well, she's not an actor in the movie. But if you want, we can do that now.
No.
Dead or Alive.
Of course, I have to have Rishi Bhatt. He's the friend Patrick. Is he dead or alive?
Everyone feels about our age for the kids, so it would make me upset to know that he's dead. I'll say he's alive.
He's alive. Okay. 41 years old.
Yeah. Okay. So right on the money.
Yep.
Right on the money.
So funny that you mentioned the mom.
Oh.
Lindsay Krause, Jane in the movie.
Yep. Ferris Bueller's mom. Sure.
Mm-hmm. Dead or alive?
She's also alive.
She's also alive.
Okay.
77 years old.
All
Way
right.
to go, Lindsay.
Okay.
Then we've talked about him several times. David Keith, Jack Parkman, but he's Boone in this movie, The Cowboy. Dead or alive?
Also alive. I'm going for the trifecta.
He's alive.
All right.
71 years old. And then finally...
Oh, no. He's coming to break the streak.
The teacher, Nestor Serrano.
I'll say past.
He's alive.
No!
69 years old.
He tries to hit me with a curveball.
Honestly,
I go swinging.
I wanted so badly for someone to be dead because this movie absolutely destroyed my will to live. Except I could not find anyone involved with the movie other than the author.
Yeah.
Lynn Reed Banks, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
Everyone else involved with the movie, you're freaking alive.
I fell
Good
into
for
the
you.
trap because when I was looking through IMDb, Omri's picture was an old black and white. And I was like, I'm going to avoid this.
And there were a few.
It felt like there's potential for some...
And I wanted to bring up Gary Paul Davis. So he is better known as Lightfoot. He's Little Bear. He's the first Native American rap artist.
Incredible.
He recorded 14 studio albums, was an actor and a businessman.
Wow.
I didn't even want to mess with that, like in Dead or Alive. Like, he's got too much going on.
14
I don't want to
albums.
jinx him. Yeah.
Incredible.
Prolific.
Yes, agreed. When Little Bear says goodbye, I have to touch on this. I don't know if you caught this, but they zoom into his face. I'm not sure or certain that you saw his earrings or his piercings because they look fucking crazy. They basically, for a movie with $45 million budget, they took his normal ears. They slapped on some more clay to give him giant gauged holes.
I saw the gauged
and then
holes.
little piercings in him. And I was like, again, I know where $40 million of this movie went. You could just give my man some tattoos and some proper looking ears.
Yeah.
Like this, that was absolutely wild to me.
Or do you even need earrings? Is
You
that
don't even-
historically accurate?
You don't need the earrings.
Did Native Americans wear earrings?
I said that's easily the worst effect in this whole movie is these shitty ear piercings that they slapped on my guy. And as the movie ends, Omri tells the end of his story, and we're kind of fading in. You know, we're slowly zooming into him, just focusing. And in the background, you hear the kids still talking about JFK and how he's assassinated. I was like, this is what we're ending on. Is we're hearing in the background about JFK got shot.
That is the last feature of my least favorite scenes, and I have the quote from Omri.
Yeah.
This is what he says. This is what ends the movie before the other idiot classmate goes into a rant about JFK. I'll never know where he is or how he is, but now I don't worry about him anymore. I think Little Bear will have lots of children, and he will teach them everything. He will always take care of his people. That's all. And then he stares off into space and smiles.
What else?
You idiot. That's what you have to say? I stole him from his family for an indefinite amount of time, but I returned him. No harm, no foul.
I think he's going to
Life
be just
goes
fine.
on. Let me check my 2 watch to see how much time I have left.
Now we hard cut to Little Bear landing in his time. Like, where the hell were you, man?
Yeah, people are gonna be pissed.
And that's the end of our movie. What I will say, depressingly, this is where I love to jump into some casting what ifs or questions. There are none.
I was gonna say, are there any?
There are none. And this brought me to my potentially unanswerable question. Is there a universe where this movie, this same very similar movie, could have been saved? Better casting, Jonathan Taylor Thomas as Omri, less educational, more Honey I Shrunk the Kids. Like, is there a world where this movie works to you, or is it just like it's dead on arrival?
So people that we know that knew we were going to watch this movie, because people have been asking, like, what movies are you covering?
Sure.
Universally, it was, well, that movie can't hold up well.
No.
But it's just based on the title and what the basic plot is.
Yeah.
That's not even why this movie isn't effective.
I will agree. I'll agree with this.
So, honestly, yeah, I think there's a world where you could have had either more fun or more education. Go in a direction.
Sure.
If you want to make it of, I'm going to teach you the story of my people.
Yeah.
Because apparently the actor who plays Little Bear, Gary Paul Davis, his name is Lightfoot again. He's a Cherokee in real life. But in the movie, he says he's Iroquois. I don't even know if that's offensive. If you're representing another group, I don't know.
Yeah,
so if
fair.
you wanted to say, like, yes, we were based in Milwaukee or whatever. They do it in Wayne's World. So I think if you did that or just leaned into the fun of a cabinet bringing things to life.
Sure.
They were so focused on the Indian.
Yeah.
And it's been a minute since I read the book.
Yeah.
So maybe they have more of a relationship then that was kind of lost in the movie. But I do think, yes, in an alternate universe, this could have been a decent movie and or entertaining movie.
I went into this movie thinking the worst, like this is going to be a train wreck. This is kind of a similar feeling to, not for the same exact reasons, but Heavyweights, where I was like, no way does this movie hold up. Now, Heavyweights held up very well.
It did.
This movie, not so much. But I will say it was far less offensive than I expected for a movie
it's
from the
not
90s.
Offensive. It's just bad.
And that's all I'll say the problem is. It's not that it's offensive. It's just that it's not good.
Like my boys don't understand when I say it's a bad movie.
Yeah.
They assume bad means like inappropriate.
Sure.
And I'm like, no, it just sucks.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch this.
Well, how about some fun facts to liven it
Please,
up? Maybe
please,
some,
let's end on a high note for the love.
Trivia and facts.
Your director, Frank Oz,
Love him.
got permission from George Lucas to use the Star Wars character Darth Vader in the film. He went to the top of the mountain.
He was the voice of Yoda, I would hope.
I would think, do you even need to ask the question? Does it bear asking?
It's an action figure. I can't use
And
him.
also, remember, I do the Yoda voice.
Yeah.
Like, let's remember that. On the DVD commentary, Frank Oz stated he was reluctant to direct this movie as he didn't think he was a children's director. Fair
But
intuition?
wasn't he reluctant to direct What About Bob too?
He's just a reluctant guy.
He's just reluctant.
The writer and producers of E.T. were involved, so it was not just the writer, it was also other people who produced the movie. Oh, the name Omri means the Lord is my life. It was the name of a Hebrew king.
Okay.
So try laying that upon your child in this world. Not name him Frank. The Lord is my life. After the film flopped at the box office, director Frank Oz felt he was the wrong director choice, as this was his first directed children's film. Upset with the box office results, he vowed to never work in the genre of children's films again, which has held up.
What about Dark Crystal?
That was before.
Oh, okay.
Dark Crystal was his first.
Got it.
And then Muppets, and then we go into all the other stuff.
Okay, so he stayed true to his word.
He did. He held up. It says, however, the film later found an audience on home video, especially after being shown in classrooms in elementary schools, as the book was a very popular reading choice among younger children.
I do recall reading it.
Yep. Lightfoot's scantily Iroquois uniform had several near wardrobe malfunctions on set, none of which made it into the finished. But I mean, what made it in the film was half of his ass. So I can imagine a dong coming out now and again.
His doodah.
Yeah, his doodah, if you will. So there's another reason to the lore of this movie why it kind of had a curse on it. You know, it came out at the same time as Toy Story. That's tough competition.
Mm-hmm.
Technician Pat Tanner fell to his death while riding a motorized hoist used to lift scenery on the soundstage for this film. Tanner's death led to a change in motion picture safety rules as a part of union film sets to prevent similar accidents. So his death on this movie just put a dark cloud over the whole thing.
It's like Poltergeist.
Yes. So between that and Toy Story, I think, and Frank Oz feeling like it wasn't his vehicle, I think.
Let's just bury this.
Let's bury it like the old Native American toy who dies in the movie.
That's right.
Since 1991, Lynn Reed Banks' novel has been criticized for its condescending portrayal of Iroquois characters as noble savages who speak in broken English and require the genius of a white English boy to rescue them from danger. The movie addressed this problem by hiring consultants to make sure that Little Bear's culture was depicted correctly and letting him speak English with proper grammar, except for a few lines where he speaks haltingly. So they had people on staff. They were making sure it all checked out.
Except, is this white boy saving him? He seems pretty fine on his own. I mean, they beat you over the head with that.
They really
I
do.
didn't need to be here.
Yeah.
Why am I here?
It's true.
So
he got him a hatchet. He got him a plastic teepee.
Yeah, but he's
the reason he's here. He's the reason he's here.
Right. I didn't have to be here.
I am both a cause and solution to your problems, Little Bear. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film a grade between A and F. A+ and F. That rating is?
And it's children?
Audiences polled by CinemaScore. A+ to F, Jim.
And then I'm sure it was like a C.
A-, Jim.
Stop it. No.
Feel free to throw
This is
your
so
headphones.
stupid.
It is an A-.
What are we even doing here?
It is an A-.
It's not.
My hot take for this movie, we already kind of touched on it. This is not a great movie by any means.
End of sentence.
But it could have been so much worse with the potential problematic parts of this movie. We already talked about it, but I was waiting for train wreck, and what it felt more like was just like a rear end. Like it's
it could have been an offensive bad movie.
Yes.
Instead, it's just a bad movie.
Yes, that's my point. So my hot take is, it may be a 4 out of 10. It could have been a 2 out of 10, Jim.
Fine.
Let's glasses half full here, okay?
So that would be my end sense.
Yeah.
It would just be, it could have been so much worse. Offensively, still not worth the viewing.
Do you have any sneaky petes? Any favorite non-main characters, Jim, in this movie?
No, are there any?
I lean towards Steve Coogan, but that's also because I just love Steve Coogan.
Yeah,
so
he's great.
It's not his performance is fine.
I mean, Jack Parkman again, David Keith, like seeing him, and he really goes for it with the emotion.
Yeah,
he's got a great dramatic fall, like you said.
He's given it.
He's given it 110%.
Yeah,
I think Richard Jenkins is a funny dad.
Yeah,
some of the comments he makes, even him with like the camcorder at the beginning of the movie, like there were moments where I wanted to embrace this movie.
The potential was there.
The dad with a camcorder with a birthday.
Yep,
that is right in my wheelhouse.
Nostalgia there.
Unfortunately, I think I was too agitated to enjoy much of this movie.
So to circle back, I already talked about if it was appropriately rated, reviewed. It's a 6 out of 10, which means it's rated worse than Angels in the Outfield, but better than Dennis the Menace, which I know.
And the same as Free Willy.
And the same as Free Willy. I think It is not an appropriate rating.
It is 100% not.
When I saw 6 out of 10 and a 70%, I saw that before I watched the movie and I said, oh, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not as bad as I'm going to think it is. No,
Pretty
it's
bad.
It's bad.
Pretty
It's
bad.
So do you recommend
I
this
do
movie?
not.
Do you recommend this movie if you're in 4th grade in the 90s?
No. In any multiverse, no.
Case closed.
Thank you for listening. Please follow, rate, review, like, and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And tune in next week when we review another cinematic masterpiece from our childhood. Until then, you son of a buck, horse's ass.